Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we are going to provide a little PSA for people in Palestine, Ohio. We'll go over some information there that is relatively important if you are in the area. And then we're going to answer a question from somebody in Europe who just doesn't understand the concern. And that is it's pretty thought-provoking. Okay, so the officials, as far as basically all of the government environmental organizations, agencies, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Air is fine. There is still soil, I believe, that is being removed, and municipal water is fine in Palestine. That is the official statement. Okay? If you are less than believing of the official statement, or if you have a private well, there are some resources. You can call 330-849-3919 and schedule testing of your own for air and of your well. That number is 330-849-3919. And it's open during normal business hours. Okay, so the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, has the wool bearing. It is in their possession now, from what I understand. They will be looking into the cause of this accident. The reporter that got picked up for covering it, apparently literally covering it too loudly, the charges have been dropped. There was a town hall that was scheduled for, I believe, last night, and the railroad company didn't show up. They said they were afraid for their safety, which means they're like everybody else in the room, I guess. But it was at that town hall that the environmental agencies said, this is where you're at. And they pronounced everything as being okay. As far as a lot of the animals, a lot of that is being chalked up to being anecdotal. And there's no real way to find out about it. I would suggest that if a bunch of people had their well water tested, that if it all came back and everything's fine, that would provide me a little bit of comfort if I was living there. That's something that I would be waiting for. So that's a general rundown of the more recent news and some resources that you can use. Now for the question. Person in Europe. The message said, all of your environmental agencies are saying everything's fine. Why are people worried? For an American, that is just a wild statement. Can you imagine living in a country where your environmental regulatory body comes in and says everything's fine and you actually believe them? I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Now, for people in Europe, I mean, understand the concept of just accepting what those agencies say at face value, that is as wild to us as us not believing them is to you. The reason Americans don't necessarily believe these agencies is because they have a long history of being less than accurate at times when they really needed to be accurate. And there have been a number of government officials over the years that when it comes to environmental issues, well, they have looked the other way if there was big money involved. Railroads are big money. There isn't any evidence right now to say that there is that something is being hidden. But this is one of those moments. It has all of the characteristics of a time when they might. So, as somebody who routinely is like, you don't need to worry about that. Don't be paranoid. All of that stuff. Get your well water tested. The only thing that is like right now would be something that I would be taking comfort in if I was in that area, is that this has been going on a while now. It's been a number of days. Non-government environmental agencies and organizations, those that aren't government funded, those that aren't linked in that way, they're aware of it. Typically, when something like this happens, they show up and do their own testing of everything kind of on the sly. I have been looking, even though I'm sick, the one thing that I've constantly been checking for is press releases from non-government entities doing testing. And I haven't found any. That may change. There may be one tomorrow. But I haven't seen anything yet. But the reason Americans have this attitude towards it is because there have been a number of instances where the state, local, federal government, everybody dropped the ball or looked the other way, or things just did not go the way they were supposed to, and it hurt people. So it has reduced faith in those organizations across the board. So that's the information. Again, if you're in Palestine, 330-849-3919. Let you schedule air testing even in your home, and your well water. Get your well water tested. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.